Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Let's talk about a play, Jamie, in the couple of plays here. One, starting off the third quarter, did a good job. You got off the field, man. You did exactly what you wanted to do because they got the football after winning the flip and then deferring, and they didn't go 3 and out, but they only went 6 plays before they punted. The problem was after you get the ball at your own 11, a couple of plays later, Will Hammond is intercepted, and it gives Arizona State a short field, and you just can't do that, and that puts you down 16-7 because, you hold them to 3 field goals in the first half, so defensively you gave your offense a chance because you put yourself just down 9-7 at the half.
Yeah, no doubt. Your defense, they gave up yards, but they were a bend but don't break defense in the first half and kept forcing those turnovers, even though they were again on the field a bunch because their offense wasn't sustaining any drives. So
then that interception basically kind of sets up your next situation in that you force another field goal after you give up the touchdown. You force another field goal after a long drive for Arizona State. They have the ball forever, and so you start the fourth quarter with the ball after a field goal. After a field goal that makes it 19-7, and then this sets up the 4th and 6 call with 11:31 to go because you feel like at that point in time, with only 11:31 to go, possessions are going to be coming at a premium, and so you go for it on 4th and 6. And this is the play that Coach McGuire says he made the call for the option for the run. You think he's protecting his offensive coordinator there?
Or his quarterback.
Yeah. Who may have checked out of the play.
There was a whole bunch of audibling at the line of scrimmage there. I don't for a minute think that Joey McGuire made that call.
I also don't have a problem with him covering for both of those two guys.
Yeah. And
he's the head coach. The buck stops with him.
Sure. He's not. The last thing he's going to do is place blame at his quarterback. And the last thing he's going to do is.
My guess is the quarterback, not the offensive coordinator on that call. But.
Called it, rolled out of that.
Or he rolled to that.
Rolled to that. But obviously that's a big play in the game. And, you don't have any issue with going for it on 4th and 6 there, do you?
No, I didn't. I wasn't surprised they did and didn't have an issue with it.
And at that point in time, with failing and being down by 12 points, knowing what you know about the time of possession and everything, kind of felt like, not necessarily that the game is over, but kind of felt like the game was over to a degree. That felt like a game-defining play, but it turned out not to be because the defense gives you the ball back. They did hold on to it for 4 minutes and 3 seconds, and then Tech gets the ball at the 48-yard line after a really nice return by Kelby Valson, and takes it to the 48-yard line of Arizona State. So you have a short field, and you march down the field, and you make it a 19-14, and then you get a 3 and out. And so now all of a sudden, with 2:05 to go in the ball game, and you got the ball back, and you have a huge return by Coy Aiken to the Arizona State 12-yard line. So now you're in business, and I guess maybe if you had it to do over again, would you hand the ball off and at least get to the 2-minute warning, or do you have any issue with go ahead and just throwing the ball in the end zone and getting the touchdown?
Yeah, hindsight is 2020.
2010 on this, right?
You can't. You're like, let's score. Let's find a way to get in the end zone.
I agree.
At that point, I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be the hardest 14 yards of the day right here. and you pick it up on the very first play. I mean, is that the most ideal situation? No, but you can't say, hey, let's run it up the middle 2 times and then run that play because you don't know what's going to happen.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so I had no issues with you throwing and scoring a touchdown on the first play.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, it's just, like you said, I mean, hindsight on that play is 25 or 2010 or 2020, whatever, however you want to look at it, because then, I mean, it's still, all that having been said, you still have a chance because you force them into a 4th down situation. And like Coach McGuire said in his post-game press conference, you can't just leave 0 open or to a point where he can make a play. And Tyson did, as he catches the ball and takes it for 33 yards. And at that point in time, you're like, okay, now
they did that a lot in the game too. Talented receiver. He's going to find a way to get open, but it sure felt like you helped him out on all his plays that he made.
Well, I mean, I can't remember the defensive back. Was it Brendan Jordan at that point? No, I don't think it was on that play. I can't remember, but it's 4th down and 2, okay, and he's running a quick out. He's their number 1 option. Okay, at receiver.
It was Bryce Pollock.
Okay, and Bryce he's covering that quick out. Okay, and he covers it beautifully, and then Tyson does what he's supposed to do when his quarterback breaks the pocket. He makes a second move, just ad-libbing on the fly. Okay, Bryce did a great job taking away the quick out, which was what that play was designed to do. Okay, and then Jordan Tyson turns and cuts upfield and is open because his quarterback, I didn't think, one of the things I didn't think we did well on defense on Saturday was set the edge. And I felt like too many times, both in the run game and in the quarterback running game, they were able to escape the pocket to either the right or the left. You were pretty good up the middle, but the edge was not set nearly enough. And because the edge was not set there, I mean, you had a quarterback that had a wide open field with plenty of time. And the second move by Tyson of turning and going down the field is what got them the play. Bryce Pollock did, I thought, a really good job on that play, but ultimately because your defensive line did not keep him in the pocket and did not pressure, also ultimately they pushed him out. They pressured him some, but at the end he was not pressured at all. That's what happened there. That, to me, that's not on the defensive back. That's more on the defensive line. And give credit to the 2 guys for Arizona State of just making a play.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
2025. It is not the last Monday in October. We've got yet another one to go. Here is Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
February is the only time that can happen. No, I guess I take that back. Never mind. You're right. I mean, you're right for obviously this one. You're right pointing it up. 1947. I got lost in some math there, and you shouldn't do math on that.
I was trying to help you, and then you complicated it.
No. But I was listening, and I was doing the math in that. 1947. Radio rights for the Baseball World Series sell for... It's a 3-year deal. Anybody want to take a guess?
What year was this?
1947.
I'm going to say $100,000.
I'm going to say $101,000.
3-year deal. $475,000.
Okay.
That's a lot of money. 1963, Jim Brown sets an NFL single-season rushing record with 1,863 yards. 1979, Texas Tech running back James Hadnot rushes for 204 yards in a 30-7 victory over Rice in a 5th straight win in the series. 1988, World Series, Dodgers beat the A's 5-2 at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum to win the World Series 4-1. Your MVP? Orel Hershiser.
Okay.
He was pretty good.
Yes, sir.
1993, Toronto Blue Jays score 6 runs in the 8th inning to beat the Philadelphia Phillies 15-14 in a 4-hour, 14-minute slugfest at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And in 2012.
Play action, throw to the middle of the field in the end zone. Touchdown, Red Raiders! Alex Torres! Red Raiders win! Red Raiders win in overtime!
Alex Torres catches Seth Dage's 7th touchdown pass and an 8-yard strike in the 3rd overtime to seal a Texas Tech 56-53 win over TCU.
That's the last time that Jamie and I sat together in the press box. That's the last time that Jamie and I rode in a car together.
We sat together on press row at a basketball game when you got in trouble for complaining to the refs. Yeah.
From press row.
Technically, I was yes. I got scolded.
by an angry female
Associated Press reporter who considered herself a journalist.
It was hilarious.
I was a little irritated.
It is National Brandied Fruit Day.
Okay. I'm probably out. I like fruit. I don't really care for brandy.
They can be tasty. You've got to have the right fruit with the right brandy.
Yeah. What, cherries?
I've met
Usually.
one before. She's nice.
A brandy?
She's a fine girl. Happy birthday to Snoop Dogg, who's 54. Keith Hernandez.
54? That's it?
That's it.
He looks older.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't have guessed he was that old.
Okay.
Keith Hernandez, 72. Juan Gonzalez is 56. And Willis McGahee is 44.
I would not have guessed that Juan Gonzalez was older than Snoop Dogg, though.
I would have.
Yeah, I don't know. Guess I would have guessed about the same, which is where they are.
And if I told you could double something that you have, that'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I'd like to double my money, yeah.
Or anything. Like if I said we're doubling the amount of coffee you have, or we're going to double the amount of storage you have on your computer, whatever you want to double, it's a good thing. Huh?
Double the weekend days?
That would be awesome, too.
Okay.
Well, in 1803, the United States approves a treaty with France providing the purchase of the Treaty of Louisiana, which would double the size of the United States.
Oh, okay.
Initially, they only wanted the city of New Orleans, and France was, doing the whole Napoleon trying to take over the world thing, so they needed cash. And they said, how about we just sell you the whole Mississippi Valley? And they went, okay. And it was from 3 million to 10 million, something kind of in that range.
So we just printed some more money?
We just printed some more money and said, yeah, this works.
Here we go.
And that is this day's sports history.
All right, that's how government works. 6:50 this morning here on the Morning Drive. By the way, that record-setting rushing year for Jim Brown in 1963, that number for him remains the Cleveland Browns rushing record. And that year, the Cleveland Browns played 14 regular season games.
Wow.
So this kind of goes to show you the impact that he had there for the Brownies. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Not sure if you all discussed it yet, but it seemed like there was a limited playbook for Will Hammond. Jamie brought that up and pointed that out, and I think you would agree with that statement.
I would definitely agree with that statement. Yeah. And it felt like at times Arizona State had the same playbook. Yeah. Now, and what I mean by that is just it made it easier for their defense. Yeah. If not throwing to the outside a lot. I feel like you did that a little bit early on or later on in the game. Obviously, you had the one touchdown pass in the first half that was to the outside, but just not getting the ball out to those guys on the outside and kind of forcing the defense to respect the passing game and respect the quick passing game. Instead, they were able to bunch up near the line of scrimmage and just made it tough on your offensive line, who I didn't think had a terrific day, but I think that factored into it is them being able to load the box and, just say I dare you to try to beat us on the outside. And we didn't try very much.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Coach McGuire talked about in his halftime interview on Double T 97.3 is that they needed to go deeper more, throw the ball long, and your first possession, they're right out of the box. A couple plays in, you throw an interception, and then find yourself, down even further. So
yeah, but it wasn't on a deep ball.
No, it wasn't at all on a deep ball. My point was going to be is then that kept you. I mean, that put you behind the eight ball even more and more. And they, came after the quarterback. It seemed like
I don't necessarily think it needed to be a bunch of deep balls. I just balls that are quick to get out and get to the outside and try to let a receiver make a play. And people on the chat line were talking about how our receivers weren't getting open enough too, and I think that factors into it as well. I don't think they necessarily had a great day, but again, that's probably a little bit of them saying, "Hey." Arizona State, I'm saying here, they're saying, hey, we don't respect this guy's ability to hurt us in the passing game, so we're going to play tighter coverage and see if these guys can get off the line and beat us deep. And obviously, you were able to do that, on a deep ball for your first down touchdown. It wasn't necessarily, I guess, I wouldn't call that a deep ball per se, but I don't know. It was a terrific throw. It was a fantastic throw. But more times than not, you just it just felt like you stuck with that limited playbook and went to the middle of the field, and they were ready for it. It just didn't feel like, there were no, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say no, but there weren't many, jet sweep opportunities where you spread them out that way, quick wide receiver screens, maybe a quick pitch to the outside besides the terrible option decision there. I mean, just not a lot of that stuff to force the defense to have to respect the edges rather than just protect the middle.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Chris Sneed, he said you can decline any penalty and take the result of the play. So I'm going to take his word as fact. He's a guy that knows the rule book inside out. That's his job. You good with that?
I'm good with it. I thought
You said that, yeah.
I thought you could decline it to begin with. I didn't know where your thought came that you couldn't decline.
I thought that's what the guys said on television. Not that I always believe everything that's said on television.
Yeah, I would suggest not doing that.
No, I know, but I mean, it's what I
heard Rick Neuheisel call Joey McGuire Joey McMillan this weekend.
Did you really?
Yes. One of the other guys had to correct him.
Let's see. I thought about this, and sometimes you have to. There's no sweet with this loss. I mean, it's bitter, right? It's a bitter loss. But
if you had won this game, it would have been an ugly win.
No question.
Mm-hmm. And
no question.
The loss doesn't help.
No, I know.
Like, there was nothing. There's no positive you take out of this. There's no.
Well, here's the one. Here's the one positive I'm going to take out of this, because look, in my 30 years plus of living in this town, I've never seen the opponent rush the field after you lost to them on the road. Never. I mean, I realize you were ranked 7th in the country, and they weren't ranked at all, but that's a long ways for this program. In that you lost on the road, and they lowered their goalposts so they wouldn't be torn down.
In a hurry.
We've done that. We've seen that plenty of times here, where we've lowered ours to keep our fans from turn them down now. But on the road, I've never seen that. I mean, they rushed the field. They rushed the field when they beat us. We've never seen that.
Why do I feel like Oklahoma State's done it once? No.
We've never seen that. I've never seen that. So
I'm not hurt about it at all.
Me neither.
No. Not at all.
Okay.
They earned that one.
Not bothered at all. I assume they get a fine.
Right. I'm waiting for that. Yeah.
But whatever. Not bothered. Looked like a great time. Except for the guy who is messing with Lee Hunter, and I hope he's, jailed. But you were the Big 12 defending champs. It seems kind of, again, I'm not bothered. I mean, they deserve, but like, you're the Big 12 defending champs. That's kind of an odd look to me.
You would have thought but their fans they're not that used to winning though. I mean, it's not like they've had just this.
That's fair. That's fair.
Decades of success there.
Again, they just won the Big 12 championship.
I know.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost feel like they gave us more credit than we deserved. And I think it's about their quarterback and their head coach circling this game. The quarterback definitely admitting to circling it, and the head coach talking since way back at Big 12 media days about, us spending money. And so maybe it magnified this game to them a little bit more. So, I just thought that was a really interesting look for Arizona State as the defending conference champs to be rushing the field, but
they rushed the field, they jumped the fence, they jumped the wall. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. Yesterday, the ACC has already fined Stanford. They fined Stanford $50,000 for violating the league's event security policy after they were on the field following their win over Florida State 20-13. So you would think that there would be a similar fine coming from the Big 12 today to Arizona State.
Do the Big 12s have the same rules? No.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have there's a rule about,
What is it?
I
You seem very certain. What is it?
I don't have the specific rule here for you, okay? I'm going to Google it, okay? Big 12 rule on rushing field.
Why don't you keep talking and let me Google it?
Okay, then. Let's see here. They've had more success, Big 12 success, than you, Chuck, in 1 year. I know that. Oh gosh, there's a lot here to read. I'm sure part of it is they're tired of hearing Texas Tech fans and some radio hosts at this point. Lord knows I've had enough. Okay, well, hey, you know what? Unless you've ripped the knob off your dial, man, there's other opportunities for you. Go listen to some sad sack country song, I'm sure.
Well, this is interesting. This is a fun Big 12 rule here. Here's what I'm getting from AI Overview.
Okay.
The Big 12 rule against rushing the field carries a $50,000 fine, but it recently has been rescinded for a specific incident involving the University of Colorado after they won their game against Iowa State. The rule is intended to ensure the safety of visiting teams and officials, with the responsibility falling on the home game management to prevent fans from rushing the field. So there's a $50,000 fine, unless they decide to rescind it.
Like if they threaten to sue you or something like that?
What? Did Colorado do a great job of letting the opposing team get off the field first, and then they rushed?
Or protecting them as they were rushing, maybe?
It didn't.
To me, if you let the opposing team get off the field,
yeah.
Who was it? Is it the SEC that was somebody was talking about giving you 5 minutes, or Arkansas maybe? Somebody had suggested that. Give you 5 minutes and then they can rush the field, or 3 minutes or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought somebody suggested that recently. We had that conversation.
I think it was Arkansas. I think you're right.
Like in the off season, right? Like before the season started?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think so. I'm totally in favor of that. Like, we're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Our student section is going to be over there, foaming at the mouth. Okay, foaming. For 3 minutes.
Okay.
If you're still out here for 3 minutes later, sorry about you. Yeah. But you know what's coming, so get off the field. Okay? And I'm sorry that you don't get to shake hands with your former high school teammates or whatever. That stinks, but that's just kind of what's going on. Yeah.
Somebody says this: it was a very dangerous situation after the game. The goalpost almost crushed one of our players, and several of our staff and players were pushed. Will the Big 12 respond since they are so worried about tortillas? That's a fair statement.
I said they came down in a hurry. You see the video of it, and there's a Tech player that it lands, looks like 5 or 6 feet behind him near the top of the goalpost, which, if he had taken a step back or whatever, he could have been seriously injured. So that was super dangerous. But I'm glad that nothing obviously happened there. go back to the situation with West Virginia where our fans rushed the court against West Virginia in basketball, and somebody brushed shoulders with a West Virginia player who then turned and took a swipe at the back of his head as he kept running by, and we were fined for that. Well, here was a guy that was clearly trying to talk serious trash to Lee Hunter here and get him into bait him into an argument, which he did, and Lee was pretty frustrated about it. So I would think that the Big 12 will have to do something,
address it. Yeah,
I would guess so,
in some form or fashion, because
it wasn't like they rushed the field, but hey, there was no drama with it. There clearly was.
Yeah. 7:24. Speaking of tortillas, it'll be interesting to see if anything comes down the old pike today.
Speaking of tortillas,
somebody on the chat line.
Well, I haven't read that one out loud yet. Just so you know, all of us were confused, except you and the one texter.
Okay. How about this? It'll be interesting to see if anything's addressed with regard to tortillas at today's press conference with regard to this coming weekend's game.
I'd rather talk about how we're going to fix the offense with Hammond as your quarterback than tortillas.
I completely agree with you. I'm just talking about officials, not the head coach.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, very simple question for you today. After Saturday's contest that went the way that we did not want it to go, I want you to tell me where you think the Red Raiders record is going to be at the end of the regular season.
Okay. Well, on July the 31st, I said 10-2 that you would lose to Arizona State and Kansas State. I revised that for me personally, on August the 21st, and I'll give you your guys, if you'd like, at some point in time. I revised that to 11-1 Arizona State, and I'm going to stick with that. I think you're going to win out now, and but I mean your vets have to be vets now. I mean your leadership has to help right this team because you've got the right team to play next in Oklahoma State, but then the next team is Kansas State. They play Kansas this weekend. They're coming off of a win into their bye week, and they're going to come off of a win to play you. So this whole being worried about K-State getting right at the wrong time feels like that's what's going to happen. But I'm going to say 11-1 is what I'm going to stick with.
Ten 10-2.
That was Jeff's mark at July 31st, and that was your mark at August 21st. It was 10-2.
The other loss coming to
Kansas State.
Yeah, but he had Oregon State, but then you revised that, right? But you still had Case. You still had
Oregon State won a game yet?
I don't think so.
No, they fired their coach. Nope.
Well, yes. I wonder if they won yet. I am going to say 11-1 if your starting quarterback is healthy. I think you could lose two more games if you don't have your starting quarterback. I think there's a big difference.
Oregon State beat Lafayette 45-13.
All right.
Last week.
Woo!
How about
Makes that win more impressive for us now.
Big matchup with Washington State this week. So,
okay. Yeah.
Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of really good teams in the Big 12 conference. I think you're the best one, but I think when you don't have your starting quarterback, it drops you back to the pack. And I think Kansas State on the road is tough enough, and I think BYU at home is tough enough that if you're not clicking on all cylinders offensively, then you could drop those games. So one or both of those games. But if you have Baron Morton in there, I still feel like you're the most talented team in the league. I still think you can go 11-1.
Syntax Hank says 9-3 losses to Kansas State and BYU. All right, so let me ask you this. Do you think Texas Tech should, in essence, pull an Arizona State and say, hey, Baron, we're not going to need you Saturday against Oklahoma State. Let's get you another week of rest?
How true is that?
I mean, you should. I think that you'll beat. I think you could. I think you're good enough that you can use your number 2 quarterback and win against Oklahoma State. I'm just asking the question.
Which part are you confused about?
That you don't need Baron Morton for this week against Oregon State.
Oklahoma State.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not Oregon. Oklahoma State. That Oklahoma State's bad. There's no argument. But your offense did not click at all against Iowa State.
Okay,
Arizona State.
I'm with Chuck on this one. I think the answer is I think I would prefer for Baron Morton to not play this week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if he practices this week. And I would prefer that Will Hammond is the starting quarterback on Saturday with a full playbook.
Yeah.
Okay. And Baron Morton, a week from today, gets back to practicing.
Yeah.
I want Will Hammond to use this as a week of getting first-team reps and a week of running a full offense, okay? And so we don't have to, quote-unquote, dumb down the play calling for Will Hammond, okay? If you can't win this game without Baron Morton,
you're not a very good team.
You don't deserve to even be in the conversation.
Yeah. Plenty of teams have won with their, quote, backup quarterback at every level. And at some point in time, you need people, you need to show that you got depth, okay?
Yeah.
And
Jeff, they're starting a wide receiver at quarterback.
I understand.
I'm with Jamie. I mean, I don't understand if
Baron Morton is 100% healthy, I'm not. If they're like, yeah, he is 100% ready to go, then I would say play him. But I don't think that is the case.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's every game that Will Hammond has been. We talked about this earlier. Every game that he's been the expected starter for the game. Like he took all the first team reps last week.
All of what you're saying is absolutely accurate, Jeff, and we got to get past that. Okay, so give him this week to get ready and get Oklahoma State. I don't care if they know it's coming, and we start to allow Will Hammond to be able to use the playbook, the whole playbook.
I'm with Jamie. I'm not. I don't think that they've opened up the full playbook for Will, and I think he deserves to have that opportunity. Because here's the thing: you're a 4th and 2 stop from having a dramatic comeback and having a, quote, ugly win, but good teams win ugly, and you're a completed ball in the end zone from having a miraculous comeback, and we're talking about a completely, totally different situation.
Can I just I don't want to. One thing you said there, he deserves it. I don't know if he deserves it or not. That's up to the coaching staff. That's up to what they're seeing in practice to decide whether or not he deserves it. Those are not my words. Those are your words. Okay.
Yeah, I said that. I felt.
Yeah, let's not tie us together on that. If the coaching staff doesn't see stuff in practice that they think makes them comfortable running certain plays,
that's probably better said.
Then that's why those decisions are being made.
That's better said.
Yeah, I don't know that we are at the point where he has earned the right to say, give me everything.
Yeah.
He sure did look good against Utah, though. And I mean, his receivers made plays for him, too. Every game's different, but I feel like we just felt like a little too conservative on Saturday, and that cost us.
That touchdown, though, that puts you ahead, that pass, man, he zinged that. There is no question about it. That was a, as the kids would say, a dime.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Drive, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. It's great to have you with us this morning here on the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. We come to you, Jamie, Jeff, and I, from the First United Bank studio, and take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to Double T 97.3.com for that, or the mobile app. This question has been asked a couple different times, so Jamie responded on the chat line. Are we hoping for an Arizona State rematch?
You know, I wouldn't hate that at all. I don't look at it like, oh man, if we play them a second time, we're going to crush them, kind of a deal. First off, if there's a rematch, that means we made the Big 12 title game.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
that's first thing
no
in my
matter
mind.
who it is, you'll take it. But there is a sense with me that I'm like, I would really like to see how things would go if we had a healthy Baron Morton. Yes. But I think they're a good football team, so that wouldn't be the team that I would pick to play in the Big 12 championship game. But then again, I mean, if you're playing in the Big 12 championship game, you're not going to get Oklahoma State or UCF or West Virginia. You know that, right?
Yeah. Hey,
You're going to get a good team.
do you think a team with 2 losses right now still has a shot at getting in the Big 12 championship game?
A shot, yes. I don't think it's a great one. Yeah.
I mean, there's no question that
Because we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
This conference has 5 or 6 teams that seem to be pretty good, especially when maybe it's 2 playing 6, but it's at 6's place, and that levels the playing field a little bit. So, I think it's possible. I don't think the odds are great. And so, I mean, at this point, if I'm a Red Raider fan or if I'm a Red Raider player, I feel like you're right now. You got to be treating this like you're in the playoff right now. Like you got to win every game.
So of the teams with 2 losses, Iowa State, TCU, Baylor, Kansas State, Utah, and Kansas are the best 2 candidates, and maybe the only 2 candidates in your mind, Iowa State and Utah,
For what?
to advance to the Big 12 championship game?
I mean, again, you want me to list my 6 or whatever? I mean,
No, I just want you to know, of the teams that have 2 losses, do you think the teams that there's only 2 teams that have a real chance to make it to the Big 12 championship game?
I would guess Iowa State, Utah have a shot. I wouldn't predict TCU or Baylor. Those would be the 2 and 2 teams, I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of the teams that have 1 or less loss, are you going to say BYU, Arizona State, and Texas Tech, and you're going to eliminate Cincinnati and Houston, or you're just going to eliminate Houston?
I'm just going to eliminate Houston. I don't know why we would eliminate Cincinnati.
I don't know, just
If I'm going to tell you that I think Iowa State is good enough to get there, how can I eliminate Cincinnati when they beat them?
yeah, that's true. You can't. Yeah, you can't. And just kind of looking ahead to Cincinnati's schedule just for a second, because
They have one of the tougher ones remaining. I think they play BYU.
They play at Utah on November the 1st. They play Baylor this week, at Utah, and they play at home against Arizona, at home against BYU, and at TCU to finish up the season.
So they got BYU and Utah.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
That is pretty tough.
And that's why I say, even though they're a game ahead of the Red Raiders and those other 3-1 teams, I don't expect Cincinnati to go undefeated.
This would welcome another shot. Better the devil you know than the one you don't.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I mean, you didn't play your best maybe in any aspect of the game, and you were still right there.
Still right
on
there.
the road.
Yeah.
You're right there.
And you know.
But you have to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
You have to give them at least some credit for that.
Somebody says this: it wouldn't have mattered with Baron Morton on Saturday. The way the offensive line played, he would have gotten killed.
I don't think they were great. I really don't. And again, is that because did the offensive line struggle because Arizona State said they're not going to do anything on the outside? They're not going to try to throw the ball out there. They're not going to try to throw the ball down the field, and so we can load the box. And that made things more difficult for the offensive line. I think there's the potential for that to be true. They just did not respect the passing game and what you could do, on the edges. They didn't respect that. And it felt like they were able to load the box because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you got to, I mean, we all know, right? We've heard the saying a million times as football fans. Oh, you got to use the run to set up the pass. Or you got to use the pass to, some people use the pass to set up the run. Well, sometimes you got to use the outside to set up the inside, if that makes sense, right? You got to be able to, attack all areas of the field. And it just felt to me that there wasn't enough attacking on the outside.
Yeah.
And again, maybe that's because I'll give Arizona State some credit here. Maybe they were showing something on the outside that I wasn't noticing that didn't, or were our coaches saying we can't allow Will Hammond, a backup quarterback, to lose us this game. Just play a little bit safe here, and we're good enough to move the ball, playing a little bit more conservative. And that's why I'm not saying to start with you don't do some of that, but it felt like to me at halftime you're like, okay, this is not working. We're probably not going to hold them to another 3 field goals in the second half. We got to open it up a little bit, and I think they did open it up more in the second half.
Are you guys still talking host playoff game this week? We haven't yet. This is only Monday. The whole town and team was way too confident. I was in that group also. Let's learn and move on. I don't know if the team was. I mean,
I didn't think the team didn't show up.
Yeah,
they didn't look overconfident to me. They didn't look like they weren't ready to play.
Yeah,
I didn't feel that way at all. Now, was our fan base and us all overconfident?
Sure. Oh,
yeah, probably so. Probably so. I still think you're a better football team than Arizona State. So maybe that's just me having my head in the sand or my head in the clouds. I don't know, whatever. But I don't think our team showed up, cocky and overconfident and not ready to play. Ultimately, they just played better than we did.
Yeah, you didn't play your best, and you were a 4th and 2 stop from winning, or you were a catch in the end zone from winning. And both were really, really close.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.